Hello everybody. Today we shall discuss about causes of human trafficking. There are two sides to this. One is demand factors and supply factors. It would, it would therefore be wrong to say that human trafficking in any form is only demand driven. The supply factors too plays a prime role in trafficking of persons. Let us see demand factors. The growing demand for trafficked people is one of the major causes of the expansion of the trafficking industry. New sectors that have propelled its demand are commercial sexual exploitation for pedophilia, pornography, and sex tourism, organ trade, and unlawful engagement in military outfits working against the government. At the same time, old sectors which have been instrumental in facilitating its demand, like prostitution, domestic servitude, and cheap contract labor in agricultural and construction sites, continue to expand. The demand side of trafficking, which includes, for example, street shop or brothel owners, farmers, clients of sex workers, and all those people who hire domestic servants, is often neglected by trafficking prevention programs. Activities tend to focus only on the supply side with a view to curtailing its, protecting victims, and prosecuting the traffickers. Let us see demand for sexual exploitation. The main causes fueling the demand for sexual exploitation are prostitution, pedophilia, sex tourism, pornography, child marriage, mail order bribes, and entertainment events like lap dancing. The demand for commercial sex is high in many countries in which men routinely frequent brothels and other commercial sex venues. The high demand for sex creates extremely lucrative incentives for traffickers to recruit and entrap females with the highest demand for young girls. North Korea, Russia, and Vietnam have been purportedly trafficked into densely populated regions of China and India, where there is an increasing imbalance in the ratio of men to women. Sex tourism and child pornography sites have further increased the demand for commercial sex worldwide. The growing acceptance for these demands gives impunity to traffickers and allows its unfettered growth. The demand for cheap labor. There is also a strong demand for cheap labor where employers can pay less than the minimum wages or no wage at all. This can range from bonded labor in farms and plantations to contract labor working in clandestine military establishments and construction sites, and of course in sweet shops and homes. There are anecdotal accounts of trafficked child laborers used as domestic workers, but this sector is poorly understood as a locus of child and trafficked labor abuses. Organ trade. Traffickers also lure people, including children, to donate organs by offering big sums of money. In NCT of Delhi last year, during investigation of kidney transplant cases, the police uncovered the murky role of some doctors, hospital managers, and members of authorization committee who were acting in consonance with the traffickers. The Organ Transplant Act 1994 establishes an authorization committee to grant approval based on fulfillment of specified technical and medical requirements. The act has been ineffectual and proper implementation is wanting in many states and union territories. Supply factors. For millions of children, women and men in India is their vulnerability, who they are, where they live and how they make a living, which is a major cause for their being trafficked. Vulnerability to trafficking starts with the equality caused by sex, caste, discriminatory cultural practices, traditions, and poverty. Corruption, greed, and political indifferences allows these vulnerabilities to endure. Sometimes law and state institutions also perpetuate and reproduce these inequalities. Many victims of trafficking simultaneously experience the intersection of overlapping operations of caste, class, and gender, amplifying the obstacles they face and their inequality. Sex and gender. Sex refers to the biological, that is genital and reproductive distinctions between males and females that are fixed at birth and do not generally vary among human communities. Gender refers to differences in social roles, responsibilities, attributes, and conduct deemed socially appropriate for men and women, and to ideas about how behavior and activities should be valued or censured. Castes and roles associated with males and masculinity in most societies are more highly valued and rewarded than those associated with the females and femininity. Gender does not exist in isolation but interacts with other hierarchical social categories such as class, caste, and ethnicity. This raises the question of differences not just between men and women but between different categories of women arising out of their different social positions, with the poor, ethnically marginalized women being the worst off. Thus, systems of power such as gender, caste, and class often get interlinked and ensure the exclusion and subordination of women and girls in India on account of prevailing stereotypes and their lower valued social roles, inferior status, and position. Caste and ethnicity. In India, where the caste system and similar forms of social stratification continue to exist even today, families and children of Dalits and other low caste groups are still found in relationships of bondage to landowners belong to upper caste, in spite of existing laws that prohibit slavery and caste discrimination. Several studies reveal that majority of the trafficked persons are from marginalized scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward class communities, including denotified criminal tribes. Similarly, in some states of India where intergenerational prostitution continues to be the norm and mothers are forced to pass on prostitution to their daughters, mostly belongs to low caste communities like Nats, Kanzaras, and Bozas. Poverty. India is one of the most populous countries in the world. Around 40% of its population is living below poverty line. As per the Planning Commission of India, poverty in India is significantly a rural phenomenon. The rural poor have limited access to education, health care, land, livestock, well paid jobs, and other facilities. Organized crime. Before that, I would like to clear the points with respect to poverty. Traffickers are therefore easily able to lure them to false promises of well paid, legitimate jobs, residency status in more prosperous cities, countries, or simply the promise of sending wages back home as inducements and deceptions to obtain initial agreement to offer of travel and employment. Organized crime. Trafficking is now considered to be the third largest source of profits for organized crime, behind drugs and guns, generating billions of dollars annually. It is also connected to other criminal activities, with the profits from trafficking in persons used to finance illicit arms and drugs trading. For purposes of trafficking, a range of factors are involved, from family members, relatives, to local pimps, to initial recruiters, other agents, escorts, brokers, and the ultimate owners and managers who pay large sums of money for the acquisition of concerned persons. Of late, gangs and larger organized crime networks are significantly involved in the marketing of human beings for exploitation. In India, Kundria, Katia, Araria, and Kejungang from the Golden Triangle of Trafficking. India organized crime led by individuals based in Dubai is involved in the international trade of girls, international trade of girls and men from India, Nepal, and Bangladesh to major urban centers, particularly Mumbai, Delhi, Patna, and Kolkata, as well as to some other Middle Eastern countries. I hope you got the points which are very important in the fact and influencing on human trafficking. Thank you very much. Thank you.